Okay. Um, Week 68, which becomes a 14, which becomes a 5. So bringing changes forward for us, and change to this week with today's energy, the changes that are being brought forward for us are to do with unconditional love in relationships, because we have the 6, which is love, and it is also relationships, and we have the 8, which is to do with unconditional love and to do with forgiveness, as above so below, infinite possibilities, and together it becomes a 14. We skip right over to the 5, but even in the 14, it's intentions of love, heart-based intentions, which create the changes that are coming forward. I can't actually see with them on. We have changes being propelled forward. And today when I sat in meditation, actually, I'll tell you, I'll give you a little tip. This morning, I had something happen that sent my mind into a worrying or a space, I suppose. Something happened, and it was to do with looked like some money had been, somebody had tried to take some money out of my account. And so I was like, oh my God, I went into this, better ring the Western Union, find out what's going on. Anyway, I did so, but my body was pumping, oh my goodness. And of course, as I had checked things out, I'd seen this big lump sum of money of $138,000 that apparently had been tried to be taken out of my account, or how I thought. I haven't got $138,000. But anyway, that's beside the point. That was what I thought. How could anybody try to take such a great lump sum of money out of my bank account? We'll move away from the funny part of it. And my mind was racing that somebody had done this. But of course, when I looked at the email again, and really studying it, there was a comma after the 138, which meant it was actually, and to me, if there's a comma, we're going into thousands. But the comma was at 20, so it was actually only $138. But even still, nobody should be trying to take money out of my account. And I have to sort this out. So I rang the fraud department of Western Union to talk with them. And as it turns out, it was actually me. It turned out to actually be me that had tried to send some money to somebody, and the bank had rejected it because of the wrong card numbers or something, and then I had actually sent the money on the same day. So I took a breath of relief and went, oh gosh, thank goodness for that. Nobody's trying to do anything, but my body was still racing, and my mind was racing. That I should think that somebody should try such a thing. So I was feeling guilty, and I hadn't done the meditation for tonight, and I was like, there is no way I can go into meditation in this state. And I'm very strict like that. I don't go into meditation if I'm feeling negative or on any space other than feeling at my best, the same as I wouldn't do a healing, and so on and so forth, because I believe that you can't tap into the purest energy if you're in that space. And I sat and I went, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? So I sat down, I picked up my journal, and then I started to write a lovely story. And it was just a really happy scenario story of what I would like, a fanciful story, if you like, of this happy scenario to unfold in my life. And as I was writing it, I became so joyous and uplifted, and my heart was really wide open. And I was very, very excited. And you can probably say I still have that energy with me. And then I went, wow, that was a brilliant idea. So I want to share that with you, that anything that you want to bring about, just create a story about it and write it. Write it as if with no negativity whatsoever. No, oh, this happened and that happened and then this wonderful scenario unfolded. No, 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 no. You don't do any of that. You just write this wonderful unfolding story. And then you feel fantastic, just like I did. So then I was feeling fantastic. I think I wrote, a foolscap, just over a foolscap size page of writing by hand, of course, because it slows your mind down, and you're actually grounding things. So, it's like daydreaming, but you're writing down your daydream. So I wrote down my daydream, felt brilliant, and was in the perfect space to sit and meditate. So then I went into the meditation, and I was so, by this stage, of course, I'm in the right space to tap into the absolute purity because I was really joyous. And I saw this being sitting in front of me who looked quite like a pixie, but he also had the image of a particular representation of how I generally recognize Sanat Kumara. So, and he had his hands in front of him, but I knew, because I could feel the energy, that he was not praying. He was in absolute appreciation. And he had just a beautiful energy around him. And in front of him, I could see, of course, because I have asked, that I want to know what the energies are this week, from this week to next week for the Anatron Truth work. And I saw he had this, he was sitting in cross-legged, he had this circular pool in front of him, and the around the edges of this pool was this reddy orange or orangey coloured light, but it was like a flame, but it was more light, more intensified. And inside this circular flame was of unity, of harmony, was a pure liquid light, crystalline like liquid pool of in silver white type color, I guess, more silver energy. And I just knew that this was a bottomless pit, an absolute infinite well of everything. And I knew that the energy that he was giving was the absolute appreciation of this, of knowing that there is this pool of absolute infinite possibilities that we can draw from. I knew that this was a message being shown to me for all of us, that we actually have this infinite well that we can reach into and receive whatever we are desiring to bring in. And all the while that I'm seeing this, I'm crying. The first, the tears are rolling down, and then I'm crying. My heart is open, and I'm, really, really into it. And I get more and more like this, because as soon as I start crying, I know that I have touched God, and that just opens me up more. It's like, oh, wow. And then I just really, have the connection just get stronger and stronger. So I knew instantly why I was being shown this particular message, for us obviously, but how to use it. That yes, it is indeed like a wishing well, but we don't have access to this pure wishing well unless we are in the space of absolute purity, unless we are totally in alignment. Now that brings me to, when I looked back at him, he had all these triangles coming up through, you know, through the chakra column, and they were light colored in light, like the little ding 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 triangles that we, you know, the instrument, the triangle instrument. So I knew that this was about being finely tuned and totally in such a high vibration, because they ding ding ding, you know, they really have a high vibration, and keeping us in absolute alignment. So they were just, and we need to be in absolute alignment. And when we are in absolute alignment, we are joyous, we are happy, we are filled with love, we are unconditional, we have all of that going on. We are totally able to operate from a space of knowing that we are completely at one with source energy. At any time that we are not feeling like that, we're not in complete alignment. We might be close, we might be okay, we're balanced, but we're not in complete alignment with source energy. And we have to be completely in alignment with source energy to have access to this infinite potential of the, you know, this magical wishing well thing that I saw. So I decided to try it, and just I projected a thought in my mind, and whoosh, up out of the well presented what it was that I had thought of. And of course that opened my heart again, and I went, wow. So I tried something else, and again, and I went, wow. And so I just knew this is just beautiful. You can try it at any time, but you know what? You won't have any luck unless you are absolutely in alignment. So it's reminding us that we must find ways to keep ourselves in alignment so that we can have whatever is meant to be for us. And it was the exercise that I did that took me from, because I thought, why did that happen to me this morning? You know, why did I have that experience? And, you know, it was something that has obviously happened to me in the past, or a similar thing that has happened to me in the past. And so I, you know, obviously immediately dragged up a past experience, which, and put it into the now, where it did not belong. And I recognized after that that experience happened so that I could learn this experience of how to get myself out of that experience. And the writing of the daydream worked a treat. And that I recommend that you try it tonight, try it today, try it tomorrow, try it every day. Just write your happy scenario, and just, you know, it doesn't matter if the actual scenario doesn't come about. It's not about that happening. What it's about is you being placed in a space of absolute alignment where you are joyous and happy, and where wishes and dreams do come true. If not that, wish something better. So it's about placing yourself in the space so that you are totally receptive to the energies of what is divinely right for you. And showing appreciation. Because if we don't show appreciation, then we don't deserve what we receive. So we must be appreciative. And so this is why I got that he was in appreciation, and showing that be appreciative of everything, be appreciative of all of the good things that are happening in our life, being our awareness to all of the good things that are happening in our life. And the more appreciative we are of these things, the more we bring into our lives. So whether it be in our relationships or our work or whatever, whatever it is. Be totally in appreciation of all of it. And every time something should throw us out, recognize that we get thrown out so that we can know the difference. Because remember, we're incarnated in a polarity-based universe where there is good and bad, light and dark, so on and so forth. And if we don't know what is bad, we can't know what is good. So if we don't know what is bad for us, we won't know what is good for us. So if we do know what is bad for us, we also know what is good for us. So in acknowledging, okay, that feeling is bad for me because I feel I've been thrown out. So, okay, I don't want to be out of alignment. I want to be in alignment. And so quickly I took action and got myself back in alignment. And it feels wonderful to be in alignment. And I totally appreciate feeling in alignment. So the message is for all of us today to remember to have appreciation, to remember to put ourselves into alignment. And I would love to hear back from you if you try this exercise, and let me know if it works for you. So the first card that I've just shuffled actually is perfect, and it is the Nine of Swords. And it's like all of the worries, all of the woes, all the sleepless nights, which pretty much is, what I've just been talking about. So let's see what else comes up. We don't need to, we can recognize them, obviously we do, but the longer we stay in that space of keeping our mind there, and I've been practicing this a little bit lately to shift out of anything, if anything worrying comes in, to shift. And I've been doing that by thinking of something really happy in my life. Now, I wrote a meditation like this in level 1 of the Luxor Light Ascension program. And it's about remembering. And we work through all of the chakras in this way. So it's remembering something that made you happy or something that makes your heart sing. And staying with that memory, bringing that memory up so that you can remember it and feel the joy and feel the love again from that. And then when you feel that beautiful joy and that beautiful love, use that to create or to dream, to put it into what it is that you're wanting to bring into your life. And it's really very powerful. And so I guess that's the same sort of thing that I did today, but I just did it in a different way. And who knows, you might write a book, a happy story book, happy ever after book that can be useful in many ways. Excuse me. So the second card is the Ace of Cups. So no more need for worrying nights and sleepless nights and, thoughts that are plaguing our mind, because there is beautiful new energies being offered to us. And this is another interesting thing that happened to me today. Just before our class tonight, I went to hang some washing out on the clothesline, and I heard this noise behind me as I was pegging clothes out. And I turned around and there was this beautiful white duck behind me. I didn't know where he came from. And I looked up the meaning for ducks, and it is about blessings and being offered, something coming to us. So he was, very busy in the long grass looking for worms. So he was getting his worms, and I thought to myself, I have a feeling you're trying to tell me something. Excuse me. So I looked it up. And of course, because he doesn't come from here, he's one of the neighbour's ducks. But this card is also saying the same thing, that there are blessings being offered to us. And look, blessings of peace and harmony, because there's a dove there. So this is a new phase, a new energy, and we have the full moon coming in here in Australia. It'll be the 17th. coming through, and so beautiful energies from the divine being offered to us when we let go of all the worries and thoughts that block the energies from coming in, because that's exactly what we do. We block the energy from coming in with our thoughts. If we have too many thoughts, we can't receive divine inspiration. If we have and we just can't allow the flow to come in. So we stop the flow. Whereas here you can see there's a beautiful flow happening there, absolutely beautiful flow. Look at all these lotuses down here, lots of divine blessings coming down from the heavens, and your cup is flowing over. That's the second card of creation for us for tonight. And our power card today is the Star. Now, this is about wishes coming true, or having your wish. Asking, here's our pool that was in today's, vision, more or less. This is representing the same thing. There's a magical pool here, and she's receiving her wishes are coming true. These stars, everything is in alignment, like he had the triangles all in alignment. Everything is in tune. She's in tune with the stars, totally in her purity. She's naked there, so she's pure, she's aligned, she's ready. And there's this beautiful ripple effect that is going to happen. It's just going to keep happening if you can stay in alignment. And that's the third card, which is to do with your purpose and your mission. This is your purpose right now. The purpose right now is to be in alignment, to align yourself with Source. And the heart card today says stay in your heart. Keep your light alive. And if it means that you need to remove yourself from other people, then that is a good thing. This is about you here. This is totally about you, and you being keeping that light really glowing, really bright, really out there, because it must be a light for you to be able to attract things, attract the good to come in. So keeping your light alive, holding the light. And that brings me to another message, that if you have somebody that you are worrying about, then the worry doesn't help. Again, do the exercise of writing a happy scenario story for the person that you are concerned about, and keep them, hold the light for them. Don't allow any negative thoughts. Oh, I wish this didn't happen, or wish they didn't do this. Don't do any of that. Just totally think of all the positive things that they have done in their life, and think of all the happy scenarios that have been around them. And that's what it means to hold the space for them. Because if you go into at all any of the negative thoughts or memories, then you've undone all the good work. So it's really important, and I think that's why writing is an important way to do it, or a good way to do it, because you can give your thoughts a direction, whereas if you're just trying to think it through, our thoughts can tend to wander off in all sorts of directions. So let's see, what is the fifth card for today? When you can do that, guess what happens? When you can let those thoughts go, you don't need them anymore. Welcome the new energies in, and that allows you to have access to your wishing pool, and keep your light, keep holding the light, because then the Wheel of Fortune comes in. And this is like really saying that, yes, you can have it all. You truly can have it all, but you must stay pure and in alignment. So that is the truth, because that is the fifth card. And that is the other thing that I wanted to say. When I feel that great emotion that comes over me at times, like, that's how I know that this is the absolute truth, the absolute truth. And the sixth card is the Death card, saying that this is transformation, absolute transformation happening here. You are no longer that person that worried and let all of that get in your way. You're no longer the person that allows your thoughts to control you. You are now the person that totally embraces transformation and rides forward into new beginnings over and over and over and over, always bringing forward a new beginning, always looking forward to a new beginning, not looking toward the end result, because when the end result comes, you go, now what? I have that. That's what I was wishing for. Now what? No, keep it going and keep it going. It's the journey. Remember that it's the journey, and keep your visions going. Always have a dream. Always have a vision that keeps you moving forward. So the 7th card not really sure how I'm going to read this one. The 7th card is the 3 of Hearts. So we've had the transformation, letting go of the old. And I guess in a sense it is, you know, there is no room for the heartache. There is absolutely no room for the stormy times, because it is definitely time to let all of that go. There's been a lot of pain and suffering that we have all suffered. Everybody has their story. And but how long we hold on to that story determines how long it takes us to get out of that story. And I've certainly been guilty of this, and I'm sure you have too. Maybe not as much as me, because I'm a bit of a storyteller. But, you know, I certainly know that when we feed the story, the pain stays there. So in a sense, this is saying, you know, this is that. If you want to stay with this, you will stay with this. If you want to keep the worrying thoughts, you will keep the heartache. If you want the transformation, then you have to let go of all the stormy thoughts, the negative thoughts that keep you there. Because the thing is that after a broken heart, say this is a broken heart. A broken heart is an open heart. So if we see that the swords are creating holes in the heart there, then that is where the new energy can enter. And so then you can receive. So you can look at it in 2 ways, that it hurts, sure. Or you can look at it in, well, now at least I have the space to bring in the new. And that's exactly where we want to be. We want to be in a space where we can bring in the new. We want to write a new story. And then that gets rid of this heartache. So write the new story, and you can start writing your new story tonight. And we are going to now go into the codes and receive the codes that are going to help us to be in fine tune and in total alignment, so that we have full access to the wishing well.